Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. Sign up for a 1-week free trial, no credit card required, for access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts.
Hey guys, it's James with the Chart Guys. It's Monday, April 9th. Going to do my nightly video on gold. Gold 4-hour chart did break to a higher high above this high here of 1336.70. On a pullback, we did form a higher low finally, and then formed another higher high by breaking above 1339.10. So on this 4-hour chart, as long as gold bulls continue to hold higher lows and higher highs, they'll be in control of this 4-hour chart. And so support to look at this point is going to be this last higher low down here at 1330.10, and of course the resistance is going to be the high that was today at 1341.50. So those are the support and resistance to look on the 4-hour chart tomorrow. Looking at the daily, eventually bulls are going to have to form a higher high on here as well. So you can see that we've been forming after this high on the pullback. We've had a low, a lower high, a lower low. And to break this trend, we're going to have to break above 1349.20. So a break of 1349.20 would be a higher high on the daily, and then we'll look at this recent high here of 1362.60 for resistance. And the support, of course, here is going to be this recent low all the way down here at 1322.60 on the daily chart. Looking at the weekly on gold, we still have 3 consecutive lower highs here, 1365.40. They're all pretty close to each other though, these tops, 1364.40 and 1362.60. And so what gold bulls want to do here on the weekly is to break this weekly high, well, break last week's high first of 1349.20. That'll be that daily higher high, and then to break above 1362.60, and then we'll look at this recent high again at 1365.40 on the weekly. Monthly, I've been following along with my past videos. We've had 3 consecutive lower highs on the monthly. That lines up with those weekly lower highs by just a tad bit. And so that'd be a big win for bulls if they're able to break one of these lower consecutive lower high candles on the monthly by the close of this month and break above this 1362.60, which would be that weekly higher high as well. Looking at the miners, J first. Let's go to, again, monthly on GDXJ, still looking at this tightening pattern, high, a low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, and we're getting tighter and tighter. I'm really looking forward to seeing a break soon on this monthly chart here, hopefully in the next month or two. Looking at the weekly on GDXJ, we have inside candles on the weekly. So last week's candle, high and low within the previous ranges, high and low, and so far this week, high and low within the last week's previous high and low. So we have inside candles, and so for bulls, they want to break above last week's high here of 32.85, and then would be really nice to break this recent high of 33.19 for continuation. For bears, looking for a break below the low here of 31.68 for a bear break of the inside candle from last week. Senior miners, same thing on the weekly. We have inside candles here, and so the same principle applies here. Bulls want to break above last week's high here of 22.44 on GDX, and then 22.51 would be really nice for continuation. And next resistance would be all the way up here at 23.15. And if you look at the daily here on these patterns, you can tell it's getting tighter and tighter. High, low, lower high. I'm sorry, low, high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high so far. And the high here is at 22.19, 22.19. So we have a little bit of a double top here. Let's see what this was at, 22.18. So this is a key resistance level here by about a penny on these 3 tops here on the daily. And so look for a break of today's high of 22.19 for continuation for the bulls. Bears obviously want to break the low of today of 21.84. GDXJ, very similar. Don't have a double top, was stronger today, but still getting an entire pattern here. Low, high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high so far. And so look at that resistance of today for bulls for continuation to break 32.65, and then need a break 32.85 on the junior miners. Looking at the US dollar, the daily did set a higher high here by breaking this high here. We're continuing to set lower highs at this point, lower high, and then had a lower high here. We had a downtrend line that I was looking at. There, we did break bull from it, but now we're pulling back down into that downtrend line area. And so what bulls want to do now that they've broken to a higher high on the daily, really they want to form a higher low above 88.942. The consolidation low after this big move up was the support low here of 89.822, and right now we already broke that level. So need to form a make sure that we did break that level. Yeah, so we did break that level by a little bit, and so bulls want to try to hold to a higher high above 88.942. And if you look at the weekly here, I shared in the chat room that I may have shared it in my videos too, but I was looking for a lower high on the weekly, and the reason why was, even though we were breaking that daily downtrend line bullish, the 4 hour was an overbought territory. Let's see if I can get rid of this bar here. I'll get rid of this bar. There we go. Anyways, looking at the 4 hour chart here, we were in overbought territory here, and historically it's been above 70 level, has been pretty good area for a pullback. And so this is that weekly previous high that I was looking at, where I had pulled back at 4 hour overbought. And so now we're pulling back, and so we'll look to see what happens when we get to that 4 hour oversold, where it's been a good sign for a bounce. So 4 hour oversold under 30 has been good for bounces, and 4 hour overbought over 70 has been good for pullback so far in the US dollar. And so continue to use those technicals on the US dollar and look at how gold's going to react to that, just because of how it's been so nice and fitting in this RSI range, and knowing when it's going to reach a top and pull back. And so now looking at the weekly here with 4 hour getting towards those oversold levels again, now we see that we're getting a tighter pattern here. So this is the low and this is the high, and we're getting tighter and tighter here. And so at this point, if the 4 hour continues to stay oversold, I'm going to look for a higher low now at this point above this last low of 88.942 on this weekly chart as that 4 hour approaches oversold, and see if we continue to range here. Looking for obviously a bull break above for US dollar bulls at 90.932, and looking for a bear break at this point to a lower low here at 88.253. But look at these resistance and supports first. So the first resistance to look at is at 90.597 for a higher high on the weekly, and for a lower low on the weekly, look for a break of 88.942. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.